Senator Francis Heyliger, you're recognized.
Good. Okay. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to testifiers. Good morning to the people of the territory. Mr. De Silva, congratulations on this time that we are taking out to honor you for all that you have done. While I sit here and listen to my colleagues sing, I hope next carnival season they will all be up on a stage at some point, since they're performing so well here today. You could probably help train some. But I want to take some time out to ask you some questions. We're here because of all that you have done in regards to Calypso. And you also just shared that, some of the individuals you might have mentored over the years have gone on and they might not be involved in the music anymore. How do you think as a community we could continue to develop Calypso music so it could continue to be a long legacy here as part of our Virgin Islands?
That question is for me, I guess.
I didn't hear what you said.
France. I got you.
Okay.
Right now, in these times, it's really hard. But if we want to, we could put a little group together that if you have kids that are serious and really want to advance in the art form, we could put a little group together, a little organization together, and I would tutor the kids and try to help them with in the art form as much as possible, I don't know if it right now would be that feasible. Also, Mr. Malbon comes, we could get along with get with somebody like him and to deal with the kids and stuff like that. If we, to do something in the Calypso vein, But the kids have to show interest. They have to be, because it's not easy to deal with kids that are uninterested.
I totally agree with you. One of the things that I love about Calypso music has to do with the fact that it tells stories. A lot of times there's so much ingrained in the lyrics of the song that you could tell an entire story in one song and the entire public understands what's being said. And that is what I've always found so beautiful about Calypso. Could you expound a little bit about that as to how, when you're creating lyrics, what inspires you to do so, to even create a story to be told in the first place?
Well, I look into the community and I see things happening in the community that I like or dislike. And that's where I voice my opinion most of the time. You know what I mean? Politically is who I'm going with for whatever situation. If it's governor, I'm saying for Governor Turnbull, I sang for him and against him. So that's how I am. I ain't going to always sing what people want me to hear. I'm going to sing what's going on, what I think the people should hear.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Kamoy, as we have discussed here today, you seem to have been following in your father's footsteps, as we have even followed you from a young child. And I am sure your father is also proud to know that you are utilizing Calypso as a form of spreading the word in music as well as a message. How do you feel about this time being taken out to honor your father today?
More than happy. I'm overjoyed because, like I said in my testimony, it is a well-deserved honor because he is more than deserving of the accolades he has received thus far. And this very moment, so I am very proud as his son, his youngest son, also following in his footsteps. I am very, very proud, but also from the rest of our family. And like Senator Javon James said, my second oldest brother, he definitely would have been proud of this opportunity and, to see my father being recognized by this amazing group of people on this body, So he definitely would have been proud. And from him, like Senator Javon James said, may he rest in peace. And, we are all proud of him, and he's really deserving of this honor. And we all appreciate the time you guys took to be with him.
Definitely condolences to your family on that loss. And I want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to really speak to you, because as a member of this community that grew up listening to Wadabli's music. We would often chat here at the legislature. For those of you, he's worked here for years, and we would always communicate. You are missed. We do miss you not being here, but I am sure you're enjoying your retirement. So congratulations again, and I look forward to definitely voting in the affirmative as it relates to this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Francis Heyliger, for those. Senator Alma Francis Heyliger, you are recognized for your 4 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again to the testifiers. Good afternoon to the people of the territory. Good afternoon to my colleagues. I am very happy to really be a part of this piece of legislation and resolution on behalf of Mr. Otley. For those of you that might know, I have been also in radio for several years, not only as a talk show host, but most recently last year joining the ranks of a radio station owner here as well in the Virgin Islands. And one of the things that I have to say that has always been an inspiration to me has always been listening to Mr. Otley. And I saw and recognized the power of radio. I saw and I recognized how important it was that you could utilize the airwaves to share information, to educate the public, to really take the time out to put knowledge out there that they could grasp and potentially build a better Virgin Islands. And I think Mr. Otley has done that over the years, not only through his political life, but also mainly from what we have all seen and what we're honoring him here for today, really being that consummate radio personality that has really contributed to building this territory to what it is today. And I genuinely, as a fan, as an individual that has followed in his footsteps, I am truly honored to really be a part of this today. Now, one of the things I wanted to quickly ask, and some of the testifiers touched on it, the road, naming the road after Mr. Otley. What type of impact do you see that that would have, not only on the community, but just others from a historical standpoint of knowing that forever, or in this time frame of life, that road will be named after him? What type of impact do you foresee for the community? Any of the testifiers may answer.
Okay, first of all, this is Timothy Lake. I would say one thing. We all are Virgin Islanders, but the day will come. Adi is still here with us. The day will come when we will no longer physically be present. I think, like mentioned earlier, with the name Adi Otley Road going into Subbase, what will actually happen in my eyes is, yes, someone will ask, who is Adi Otley? Why is this road named after Adi Otley? And that conversation will come 25, 30, 50 years from now, and it will generate conversation and the requirement for research within our community, basically.
Well, I happen to agree with you. As you look through the bill 34-0064, and you look at all the accomplishments and things that he was able to accomplish, I sit here and I smile as I see the relatives and the family all sharing their thoughts about the positive things that he has done. And I wanted to make sure I heard correctly. I think earlier I heard Peter made the statement, Mr. Otley made this statement about a last broadcast. Well, I'm not sure what was that in reference to. I didn't fully hear what he said. Is he still there?
Peter stepped out. I don't know where he went right now.
Oh, he stepped
and
away.
I don't remember hearing him saying anything about last broadcast, but he could have.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know
that's what I'm saying. I didn't know what it was in reference to. So I wanted clarity because I didn't fully understand. Okay, well, my time has been called. Well, if you could find out and he can later share, that's fine. Well, my time has been
Not a
called,
problem.
and I would like to say congratulations again to Mr. Otley. I will definitely be voting in the affirmative because I think this honor is well deserved, and it is due to him as a Virgin Islander that has really assisted us in our growth and wellness here in the territory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Francis Heyliger. Francis Heyliger, you are recognized for your 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, testifiers. Good afternoon to the people of the territory. As it relates to Bill 34-0085, I want to specifically ask to any of the testifiers, we're fighting vehemently to modify and amend this piece of legislation, but what I want to know, what type of potential economic impact or environmental impact could happen in this territory if we were not being very vigilant when it comes to invasive species being brought into our territory? DPNR, agriculture, anyone?
Of course, snakes in the territory can have an impact on farm animals, from eating chicken eggs to eating smaller animals themselves. So that can definitely have an impact on farmers. Of course, environmentally, I hike. I'm a little reluctant to go hiking in the bush these days because of snakes. So I guess that can impact those in that area as far as slow down economics for them. But I definitely see, I mean, there are farmers who face, I know one farmer in particular, he posts all of his catches most of his catches on Facebook, Honeyman, and he gets a whole bunch of snakes out there. And, you know, it's something that farmers now have to pay attention to when they're out there working their fields. So it you know, it's just another thing to be aware of, and it does have a financial cost to it, of course, because they're using certain, I guess, chemicals to deter snakes. There's certain things you can put on the ground to sort of have snakes not come around your area, and that's a cost included.
Okay, I'm not sure they can hear. The other question I wanted to ask, we were speaking about amending the code to go up to potentially $10,000, and the discussion around that has to do with, you know, right now at $500, potentially, depending on the type of species you might bring in, might have a way much larger impact on the environment or even the economics of this community. Now, if we are able to amend it to the up to 10,000, is the agency willing to create a policy where it's a tier system based on the different types or categories of animals where the fines could be attributed? And the other question I want to ask is, have you ever, within the last 5 years, fined anyone for these issues where people are bringing in invasive species? Because I keep hearing you speak to educational opportunities, but I'm not hearing you speak about actually fining people. Can she hear me, the young lady?
Dr.
Yes,
Angeli?
hi. So DPNR has not issued citations for importation of invasive species or non-indigenous species, as that authority would reside with the Commissioner of Agriculture. And that's also outside of the division that I'm here representing. My division is primarily focused on educational opportunities with the public.
So agriculture, has there been any type of fines placed even within the last 5 years in regards to this?
So I differ with the opinion of Ms. Angeli. Agriculture does not regulate wild animals. A snake is not farm animals. We give permits and permission based on individuals who request such prior to. but we do not issue fines. We have no enforcement arm in the Department of Agriculture.
Okay, well, I'm sure somebody's going to figure it out and answer me at some point. I would like to get a response when you guys sort it out.
I gave you a response. The response is we don't issue fines.
Time.
Two completely different answers. So, if somebody who's listening that's either testifying or in the back end could assist me in sharing the accurate information, I would appreciate it. My time is up. I just want to ask one more question, Madam Chair. May I?
You may proceed.
Thank you. Once these animals are caught, how good are you at quarantining or disposing, euthanizing, or whatever procedure is being used if they're brought in? Because we don't want a situation of some of them being re-released back out into the territory. How do you handle that aspect of it? Okay. Madam Chair?
So sorry, I wasn't sure if that was directed to agriculture or to DPNR, but as far as asking for a quarantine of pets that are imported into the territory, we don't require any quarantine, but I believe their agriculture has different restrictions for quarantine on agricultural domestic species of wildlife.
I'm only speaking to invasive species. How are they handled if they're caught or they're brought in? How do you handle after they're taken into custody? Are they euthanized? Do you ship them out? What do you guys do with them to guarantee they're not back out into the community?
Senator Heyliger, the testifier, your time has been called. The testifier, you can answer Senator Heyliger question on my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so it would depend on the species. If it was a species of pest, for example, a raccoon, several years ago was found at the container port in St. Thomas, and that animal was euthanized. If it was an animal that would be an appropriate pet for someone to have, that animal could be rehomed, and we would work with one of the shelters or veterinary services in the territory to home that animal. Other states no longer allow us to ship any invasive species back into those states. For example, Florida no longer accepts the import of any snake. So those animals are either euthanized or rehomed, but it depends on the species.
If I can offer, Madam Chair, Mr. Cole usually is the one who catches snakes in the territory, so I'm wanting to hear his response to the senators.
Good afternoon. Every snake that I have handled and captured, received, as many people will give them to me, we put down. And so every snake that I've handled and captured has been put down.
Could you please repeat that, Dr. Coles, on the record, and try to put on your camera once again? Thank you.
Camera's not. I'm waiting for the camera. Can you see me?
Clearly.
Yes. Okay. So every snake that we have received, and we have received snakes from, for instance, the Honeyman and other people who have captured them, and we do put them down. So they're put down. They are measured just to see what size they are, and then we bury them.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, I'll ask and recognize Senator Francis Heyliger. You are recognized for your 4 minutes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to my colleagues once again, to the people of the territory, to the testifier. I am very happy that you're here so we could have a dialogue, as one of the things that I have always thought is very important, that when it comes to the veterans, the people that have done their utmost to really protect us, I think they should get all the services and assistance that they need. Now, I was able to attend a meeting a few weeks back with the veterans, and they were expressing quite a bit of their concerns in regards to, I think it was down by American Legion here on the island of St. Thomas, where they were expressing quite a bit of their concerns and issues. And you were at that meeting and you did get a chance to speak to them. One of the things that they discussed at that meeting had to do with them traveling to Puerto Rico. And it was discussed of having a delegation to go down and tour the facilities, et cetera. But their concern wasn't about how beautiful the facilities looked. It was how they were treated when they got there. And one of the things that they asked and they suggested, because we spoke about a patient advocate, what are your thoughts in regards to having a patient advocate in Puerto Rico? Because how would you possibly go about if that's something that could even be done? Because that was one of their major concerns, where they go down to Puerto Rico, the language barrier for some of them, sometimes the interaction with the staff at the hospital, it's like they're not getting the service they need in a way where they feel like, we're welcome at times. Is that something, the same way we potentially have an advocate here, could that something that could be done in Puerto Rico as well?
Actually, Senator, there is a patient advocate that's stationed within the hospital that is that's hired by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, if we're saying that we want to do that one from the Virgin Islands, then that will entail quite a bit. That will entail hiring the person, probably housing the person. And also with that, we have to look at access to that facility, because that is a federal facility. Can we, as the local government, put a patient advocate in that hospital from the Virgin Islands? Maybe it may require some type of federal state partnership. I will not say no, but it will take some work.
Because, yes, that's what I'm asking, what the possibilities were, because like they said, for them, when they go there, it's difficult. And sometimes having someone that they know or face and could speak the same language, you understand what I'm saying? And that's what they're talking about. Yes, thank you so much. What you spoke about the charter flights before. What type of financial impact does that have for you guys? And do you see, is that funded through grants? I wasn't sure as to your response earlier. How does that fully work?
That is funded 100% by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. I also wanted to ask in regards to one of the things when I was at that meeting, they talked about their concerns and in regards to having on-island providers. And for some of the, some of the most frequent things that they have to do as opposed to consistently flying out. What is the status in regards to that? Or is that something, do we have enough doctors, nurses, facilities here that they could get some of the services necessary here on the island?
We absolutely, in my opinion, have enough doctors and facilities here in the Virgin Islands. The thing about it is those doctors must be a part of what's called the VA Community Care Network. If they're not part of that network, and it's very easy for them to opt into that network if they would choose to, then our veterans would be able to see those physicians. Now, I'll tell you one of the main issues for some of our doctors not being in the VA Community Care Network is the reimbursement rate.
And that is what I recall that was being discussed. And they wanted to know, how could that could be communicated in a way to encourage more doctors to participate, or even see if those reimbursement rates could be adjusted specifically here for the Virgin Islands. As you know, our cost of living is quite a bit higher than most places. Are those things that your agency can advocate for on behalf of the veterans? Or if something is set in stone, it's just set in stone?
It's two parts to that. Yes, it is set in stone right now, but just like any law, laws can be changed or amended. So something like that is changed through Congress. So we would then in turn have to have communication again with the delegate to Congress office, and then go through that route to try and get it changed. But I myself personally have had meetings with the executive in charge of healthcare for the entire United States Department of Veterans Affairs, Dr. Richard Stone. And this is something that the very top leadership in the United States Department of Veterans Affairs is very much aware of.
Senator
Okay.
Senator
Thank you for sharing
Heyliger,
that.
I don't know if you heard, but your time was called, but the chair will allow you to wrap up.
To say, well, I appreciate it. Well, what I was about to say is thank you for giving me those answers, and I look forward to diving a little bit more into this, because these are some of the major issues that our veterans need to get resolved, to get the services that they need, even here in the territory. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Francis Heyliger.